I'm always getting on Marvel for their paper quality, even though I like Marvel. This is not a beat-up Marvel thing. I'm a big Marvel guy, especially if you look around my office. This is Albatross. This is a smaller publisher, and this paper, it's even better than DC. This paper's incredible. So I hear people review comics. You don't hear people review paper enough, to me, except to just knock Marvel for their paper, which is fairly because it's terrible. But man, when a small-time publisher like Albatross, who doesn't have the money Marvel and DC has, even the internal pages are beautiful. Listen to that. Little paper ASMR.
Marvel has been putting out stuff that are basically sort of reprints of things that they have printed in the past, right? And they reintroduced Conan the Barbarian, right? And as you know, I love Conan. Conan, Savage Sword of Conan is one of my favorite series of all time. Amazing comic books, right? And because they were doing a push, because they got the rights back from Dark Horse for Conan the Barbarian, or Conan, right? What they were doing is reprinting $1 issues for some of the key titles, and this one was fantastic. This one, let me show you this one. This one blew me away. You know, I'm reading it, and you know, the artists vary and the writers vary for each one. This one is, who did this one? This one is by James C. Osley and John Buscema did the artwork for it, right? But for example, at the end of this, I hadn't read this original, right? At the end of this, we get the first appearance, I believe it's the first appearance, okay, of the Devourer of Souls, and this character is phenomenal.
So yeah, let's keep going.
DC Batgirl number 33. She's in the midst of an election. Like, I really like how the new people on this are really pinning her and her dad against themselves, because that's like a really interesting relationship, because she has a relationship with her father as Batgirl and obviously as herself, Babs.
And this is after she moves back in with him?
Yes, because she got hurt again.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting, that father-daughter conflicting relationship, and how she knows her dad on like a different level that we don't usually get to know our dads on, you know? And then also dads.
I wanted to mention that Batgirl, that though just the whole storyline and everything about it just seems like it would just be the best drama series ever.
And they're banished from existence by the multiversal event because of this huge villain called the Anti-God. All the superheroes of Spyro City got together to fight this Anti-God, and what happens in the aftermath of that, they are transported into a different world, dimension, time, whatever the case may be. It's still a mystery where they are, but they cannot escape.
The early efforts of our favorite cartoonists. Let's close out on one more, and it will be an example of, God damn these motherfuckers, I still can't draw that way. I still can't make comics that good.
Both my favorite and most hated type of cartoonist. The super geniuses.
Love and Rockets #1. Yeah, we're flexing, man. Self-published 1981.
And this is the rarity where someone shows up very formed.
Jaime gave this to me. My hands were shaking when he pulled it out of his bag and tossed it to me, man. But
look at that.
This is the comic that they sent to the Comics Journal for a review.
I'm sitting here shaking my head in disbelief, and I guess that doesn't translate maybe to the viewers, but it's stunning to see something like this as an early effort. As you said, Ed, you know, like I'm not at this point yet.
Right.
Maybe I never will be. You know, if it hasn't happened yet, maybe it's not going to be. Great black and white. You know, it's just such a command.
And we're seeing already that, you know, these guys, they were reading Mobius. Like, this has shades of Mobius in there.
Another example of these guys being masters of lettering from the very beginning. You know, this is something that I think most good cartoonists incorporate. They understand it, whether it's from the very layout stage to executing finished art, you know, and you're seeing it in the examples we showed before of Clowes and Chris Ware, and you're certainly seeing it here. Like, it's just, these are more advanced things than you typically would find in early work.
Moving on to image, Ice Cream Man. This is cover A. Also picked up a copy of cover B. Love this one title. Oh, I'm sorry. Love this one cover right here. Stuck this one in Mylar. Ice Cream Man this week was my #1 read of this entire stack, man. This is #1 here. The humor that was put throughout this one was stellar, man. Absolutely stellar.
And then finally, I got the book Astro Hustle, which is a it's at times it definitely is a satire, but it's also a exploitation. It's like an exploitation film from the 1960s or 1970s. In here, we start out with this group of aliens that look like they're about to have an orgy, and I was just like, okay, this is the type of book that I'm in for. And it was so weird and so out there that at the beginning I was just like, okay, I can definitely enjoy this.